Montgomery from the Culinary School of the Rockies in Boulder, Colorado. And today we are entering into the world of chiles. It's coming on that time where most of you will be harvesting a lot of chilies from your garden. I'm here today to walk you through some of the chilies that we grow a lot here in Colorado, and some maybe you don't see a lot. So we're going to talk about fresh chilies, how to identify them, basically what they taste like, how much heat they provide on the palate, things like that. And then we'll enter into the world of dried chilies. We're going to roast some chilies. And then I'll quickly tell you how to put together a very quick pork green chili with these green chilies that we'll be roasting. First and foremost, let's talk about what we have here in front. I have the chilies, a big variety of chilies, but it's something that you would see in Colorado, probably across the state. You probably all know exactly what this is. This is a bell pepper, just kind of hanging out here on the side. The reason I have this here is I want to demonstrate how to roast a red bell pepper, because a lot of you like to do that at home, and it's really simple to do. So that's sitting on the side here. Before I begin, I should explain what is called a Scoville unit. A man by the name of Wilbur Scoville, back in the early 1900s, came up with a way to gauge a pepper or a chili's spice or heat on your palate. So he assigns a number to that, and one particular chili has a set number of Scoville units. It could range from anywhere from 0 the whole way up to 500 or 600,000. So there's a wide variety. Bell peppers, as you can imagine, don't provide any heat at all, so these get a 0 on that scale, those Scoville units that I'm talking about. Sometimes in the market you can see a number on the tag with the label of the pepper. That number probably is a Scoville unit. It'll say heat unit or something like that, so at least you have an idea. Higher the number, the more the pepper's going to burn you. I'm going to start with the mild peppers, the ones with the lowest Scoville units, and then I'm going to work up. Bell pepper being 0. This doesn't really count in the world of the chilies that I'm talking about today. The next chili I want to discuss is an Anaheim. These look very, very similar to what we call Hatch chilies from Hatch, New Mexico, or sometimes they're called Jims, Big Jims, something like that. They're all pretty similar as far as how they look. They're also very, very similar as far as their flavor. They're sweet, they're mild, they have very, very low Scoville units, so not much heat at all. When you roast them, that sweetness almost intensifies. So these 2 or 3 green chilies that you see are really perfect for roasting and making that pork green chili I was talking about. The next one down the line, poblano. And a lot of you have probably seen these, consumed these. Really easy to grow. The reason that poblanos are really popular for roasting is they have a very thick skin. No, they don't. They have a very thin skin and a very thick flesh below. That's what makes it easy for peeling, and then the flesh below remains intact, and you have a lot of meaty, really lovely smoky flesh after you've roasted it. Poblanos, again, on that Scoville unit or on that chart, it's tricky. They can have a very, very little amount of heat on your palate, or they can burn you. I have no idea. So that's a big range, and you just sort of have to taste your way through that and bear with it if it's a little too spicy. These are what are most commonly used for chili rellenos, because they're so thick-walled that they can hold that filling and handle being deep fat fried. Next on the list are some whopping huge jalapenos. These are beautiful, massive in size, which tells me, and this is just me saying this, that they're not going to be incredibly spicy. I found jalapenos, again, range in heat, and the larger the jalapeno, the more mild. At least that's what I have encountered. Again, these are all 3 examples of jalapenos. Jalapenos are not only spicy, but again, they have almost a fruitiness to them, so they've got some really lovely flavor, and not just so much heat that they're going to burn you and you're not going to taste anything else, and that's what I like out of a pepper. The next on the list is called a Fresno, and these are really beautiful, dark red chilies. These are mild. Rarely do they provide heat. Sometimes they surprise me. Usually they're pretty mild. And sometimes they're sweet because they're dark red. It tells me maybe they're going to be a little sweet, maybe some more sugar in there. I like them more than anything else for the color that they add into food. If I'm making guacamole or something like that, or pico de gallo, and I want to use something other than just a standard red bell, I'll go for my Fresnos. Again, I see these a lot around Colorado, and a lot of you are probably growing these because they look really pretty when they're growing, and they're also really, really great to eat. Serranos, usually pretty spicy. High on that chart, the Scoville Units. Again, shouldn't burn you so much that you can't taste anything else, but sometimes they do. Be careful with these. They could hurt, or they could just be pleasantly spicy. It's hard to tell. That's why I like to grow my own peppers. I get a very, very good idea of exactly how they're going to taste. I try the first one off the vine. Hopefully the rest will follow, and I have an exact idea of how much spice the pepper is going to contribute to my food. This you're probably very familiar with. This little cute little thing. Looks really cute, but is pretty fierce. This is an habanero, and all the peppers I have here, this has the highest number of Scoville units. Hundreds of thousands. So that's telling you it is hot, it's going to burn, and it's not going to be very forgiving. Use caution with these. If you cook them, sometimes they lose a little bit of their heat, or sometimes they don't. One thing you really should pay attention to when you're working with any pepper, certainly if you have sensitive skin, play it safe, and if you open the peppers, make sure you're wearing gloves, or make sure you're very cautious with your hands. Wash your hands right after you've handled the inside of any pepper, or just wear some latex disposable gloves and throw them away. Watch what you're touching. Don't touch your face after you've handled peppers, because even an hour later, you'll get a little surprise and you'll get a little lingering burn, certainly on your skin, on your face, or something like that. Watch out for these. Although a little bit, and again, that color's really beautiful, they're nice. I just don't want to go overboard with the little habaneros. All of these peppers hold most of their heat in the vein and in the seed. So there's, I'm not that worried about rubbing the skin. A little bit of the oil could get on my hands, it could burn me. Usually I'm okay. Once again, it's when you open them up that you're going to start getting in contact with that oil that's really going to start burning or irritating your skin. Use caution. What I want to discuss now